This is the homepage. The second you log in, you get a quick glance at everything that you're working on. Urgent items that need action, pipeline health, your active promotions, supplier concentration, so you can see if you're leaning in too hard on any one supplier, your product mix, a renewal calendar, and your agenda for the day. Here's the part I like the most. Those action items, some of them you create, but a lot of them are created for you off your conversations. You run a meeting, the platform listens, and the next steps just show up. You can make this whatever you want it to be, but the point is to have one central spot for everything: your deals, your relationships, your day. No more living in multiple portals. And now for the fun part. I am going to navigate from the home page over to the accounts page, and we are going to create a new account as if I were meeting with them this afternoon. I have the options to choose from an existing deal, or in my case, I'm going to choose a new deal. I am going to type in here Premier Banks, which is a local Minnesota bank with a number of locations. I'm going to put that I have a UCAS meeting with them this afternoon. If I had any meeting notes, transcripts, contracts, invoices, any of that, that provides more context at a deal and product level. For the case of the demo, I don't, so I'm going to hit next. Immediately, what starts happening is we start to pull firmographic data about the business, where their locations are, how many locations they have, what type of IT infrastructure do they have. There's quite a bit of detail as you log in and build that account that you will see at an account level, including what compliancy requirements they have, what type of IT infrastructure. Do they have outsourced IT? Do they keep it in-house? There's all sorts of data that we start to pull as we pull that firmographics data. If need be, I can go ahead and I can change some of the parameters that it gave me. Here are their locations. Now I'm going to generate the solutions landscape. And this is where it starts to get fun. This is where we start talking about things like upsell and cross-sell opportunities, where the platform identifies the UCAS opportunity as it is, and the associated revenue with the UCAS opportunity, as well as the revenue that I'm leaving on the table. So right out of the gates, I'll scroll in. It tells me that UCAS is worth about $10,500 a month if that is the opportunity that I sell. And then as I scroll over here off to the right, it tells me that Premier Banks spends about about $419,000 a month. And again, I'm only talking to them currently about the $10,500 a month UCAS opportunity. You might be asking yourself, where do the cross-sell, upsell opportunities arise? And right here, as I click on proposed, here are all of the other technologies inside of the TSD ecosystem that Premier Banks is likely using, and the associated revenue. Now, if I want, I'm going to go ahead and choose identity and access management. I'm going to move that from proposed to qualified. The revenue on the right immediately goes up to 26,500. The qualified deal is now inclusive of both UCAS and identity and access management. Although I don't know much about identity and access management, I have the built-in opportunity to answer 14 questions. As I answer those 14 questions, it will start to help me determine A, whether or not that opportunity is in fact qualified, and B, who the right suppliers are. I can go to those questions here, or I can click on the suppliers tab, and I can start to really refine my messaging based on what the client is asking for. So in this case, you'll see some of the suppliers start to move as I start changing some of the requirements. So as I change the requirements, you will see that some of the suppliers move around. And it has chosen for me, it's given me some data that Otava, again, I didn't answer the questions for the purposes of the demo, but it's suggesting Otava. I don't know a lot about Otava, nor do I know a lot about the technology. So I'm going to pull a deep analysis on Otava for this given opportunity before I walk into a meeting. So if suppliers or technology types come up, I can see in this case strengths, weaknesses, requirements, competitive notes. There is so much more to the accounts section of Channel Companion. This is just a quick glimpse into what you've got the ability to do. Now, the supplier directory, and this is dedicated to you, not a specific TSD. It's built from your TSD relationships and any direct agreements that you have. Believe it or not, there are roughly 1,200 suppliers in total in the ecosystem and in the platform. Every one of them has products, training resources, and contact information. We're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 1,000 products alone in this platform. Some of these suppliers have 30 to 40 different products of their own. So this doubles as a LMS, training and content library with case studies, one-pagers, win wires. It all lives right here for each supplier. Your partner relationship side lives here too. I can add contact information, tie it to a specific deal, supplier, or TSD, and I can mark it as a favorite if I want. And when you're deciding between two suppliers, you don't need to guess. You can run a product comparison and look at them side by side. One directory, always current, whichever TSD the deal ends up going through is completely up to you.